Hi everybody, it's Laura. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel. This video is the first in hopefully quite a few perhaps, videos of layouts that I made quite a while ago, but I never had the opportunity to edit the videos and voice them over. Unfortunately, it takes me a long time to make videos, and I create the scrapbooking layouts a lot faster than I make the videos. So at first I was thinking maybe I should just let all these videos go and just move forward. But there were too many layouts that I made that I really wanted to share the process of making with you. So I decided that I was going to go ahead and get these videos up on my channel and get this task completed while still making some new videos that are going to be up on my channel soon. I'm going to kind of go back and forth between the older ones and the newer ones. So I'm starting out with this layout. This layout was made for my creative scrapbook, and I used the December 2024 kit, and it featured a really beautiful collection from 49 and Market called Evergreen Season. And I remember very clearly I had made quite a few layouts for this kit, and I was all done with my layouts, and then I was putting the papers away, and I thought to myself, I cannot not use this particular piece of paper. So I decided to go ahead and create one more layout. I'm starting off with the stencil that was in the kit and some modeling paste that I mixed together with some heavy body white acrylic paint. And the reason for adding the white paint to the modeling paste was to make sure that the modeling paste was going to be extremely white. And I used to do that a lot. I guess the modeling paste that I'm using now, which is the Crafter's Workshop, is a little bit more white than this one. But I do find that you really can't go wrong by adding a little bit of white paint. The only drawback is that the paint is a little bit softer than the modeling paste. So if you want to maintain that thickness of the modeling paste, you have to add the white paint very sparingly. As you can see here, there's so many beautiful ephemera pieces. That was another reason why I really wanted to go ahead and make another layout. I had a lot of great pieces left over. Here I'm inking the edges of all of them with some Distress ink in Vintage Photo. I often ink the edges of embellishments. I just think that it gives a nice kind of finished edge or finished looking touch to all of the ephemera pieces. And I like the way inking all of them the same color kind of brings all the elements together. And I think that because this is kind of a rustic Christmas look, that the Vintage Photo worked out well. And I often use Vintage Photo. It's definitely my go-to color. I think it's very versatile. But when I'm making a layout that has a lot of bright colors and I want kind of a crisp, clean look, I either won't ink the edges or I'll ink them with the brighter colors that match the layout that I'm making. So this is my photo. I first mounted it on some white cardstock and then again on some red cardstock that was in my stash. And now I'm adding this really beautiful frame to the layout. This is one of the die cuts. And behind it, I'm putting another die cut, which has a sentiment on it that says, "May your heart be warmed by the joy of Christmas cheer." And my first thought is to put a photo in a frame. But I've seen so many scrapbookers who use frames in their layouts in other ways other than just to frame a picture. So I thought that since this is a very small frame, it would be better off used for something like this. And in the end, I'm going to have two clusters. The photo cluster will be the larger one, and this will be a smaller cluster, and this frame will be, I guess, the focal point of the smaller cluster that's on the right-hand side of the layout. But I have noticed scrapbookers who use frames like this with nothing in them, just as layering pieces. Sometimes they cut them into smaller pieces and they look really nice. I am a little traditional. I always think to put something inside the frame. But now I'm going to start adding all of those die cut pieces to the cluster on the right. There's a lot going on in the background already, so I'm just kind of adding to that background greenery with some of these poinsettias and other embellishments. I want to give my photo a little bit of dimension, so I'm going to pop it up on some fun foam. First, I added a piece of thick cardstock to the back just to make it a little bit more sturdy so that my photo doesn't bend when I put it in the page protector, which can happen if you have a photo that's mounted on something flimsy with foam behind it. Now I'm adding some ATG adhesive, which is just a temporary adhesive. When used on foam, it's just to hold it in place for now, and then later on I'll have to add some wet glue. I usually do that all the way at the end. Sometimes I forget to do it until the picture falls off or the element falls off the page, but it is really important to add some wet glue at some point to hold it on there permanently. So now I'm going to be adding a bunch of the embellishments to the left-hand side of the page. And on the left-hand side, I have a lot less that's already printed on the page. There's those poinsettias up at the top, but the rest is white, or the rest of the area that I'm going to be working with is white, so I'm going to have to do a lot of layering. Luckily, there are lots and lots of embellishments to layer in this area. One of the things that I always loved about the limited edition kit was that it came with dimensional flowers. And I think this might be my 5th or 6th layout for this particular kit. So I can't believe that I had some of these flowers left over. I just think they're really beautiful, and I especially love to add them to my pages at Christmas. When it comes to the way that I dress and the way that I decorate my house, I feel like my taste is very plain or subdued. I wear a lot of solids and I don't have a lot of bright colors in my house. But for scrapbooking layouts, I feel like that's where I can really go a little bit crazy embellishing. So if you have noticed, I really like to add lots and lots of embellishments to my pages. I feel like that's something in my life where I can just kind of go crazy, and I find it fun. There was that one die cut of red flowers, and those flowers look very similar in color and in shape to the dimensional flowers, so I thought that would be nice to work in at the bottom of that cluster. I think that those leaves and those smaller flowers kind of add a nice finishing touch to the cluster. And then I had a lot of, I don't want to say trouble, but I made a lot of changes to that very tiny cluster at the top. I almost forgot about that cluster. I couldn't quite get it right in the beginning. I don't think that those pine branches that I have there kind of go with the rest of the layout, so I end up taking those away, and I'll be making some changes to that cluster as this layout progresses. So even though it looks a little messy, I am happy with the general idea of the way I have the embellishments in the large cluster, so I started to attach those down because I know that if I layer more things on top, I'm never going to be able to get everything attached down correctly. So I used my ATG adhesive, and I just started attaching all those pieces to the page. And then I also had these little thinner stems with the smaller flowers on them, so I decided that I would work those into the layout as well. And then I'm going around the layout and I'm attaching down all of the things that I've already placed on the page. I really like this little chipboard heart, but I don't know why I put it right near the other little heart that's by that chipboard sentiment that says, "Let's be merry and bright." That's right near the photo. So I'm going to end up moving that around. And then I added a deer to the cluster on the right. I remember looking everywhere for that deer. I was going to use it on another layout. I didn't end up using it, and then I couldn't find it. So I was really happy when I finally located it. This collection came with this page that's 3x4" cut aparts. I tend to use those a lot on my pages. Sometimes I just need a little touch of color, or sometimes there's an image that I cut out from those pages. I really like to have those. So I used my EK Success punch, and I punched out some dark green photo corners, and then I inked the edges of them. But then I realized that I kind of liked the other side better, so I decided that I was going to flip them over and then use that other green plaid side. The dark green's really nice. I thought that there was a lot of dark green on the layout, so I thought it might be nice to have this other pattern that has some green in it but also has some white in it too. So I flipped all of those photo corners to the other side. I added some distress ink, and then I attached them down. I'm once again using one of those 3x4" cards. This time I'm using it for my title. I really like this sentiment that says, "Wishing you a Merry Christmas." So I use a die that I had in my stash, and I cut it out. And then there was another slightly larger die, or I guess these two slightly larger dies. But I think I just used the outline die to make a mat for my title. And the paper that I used is part of the packaging that was in the kit. And I thought that it would be nice to have a little bit more red because I have, like I said, so much green on the layout. and I put some foam behind that. And not only did that give me a title for my layout, but it also made that cluster come together a little bit more. I felt that that little cluster just wasn't coming together quite right, and now that I have something larger to tuck those elements underneath, I think that helped it come together. Although I have to say that later on I'm going to move it slightly to the left, but I keep the basic same position of everything. So now I'm gluing down the flowers. I'm using some Aleene's gel glue. I use that for lots of things on my layouts. It's pretty inexpensive. It dries clear, so that's a staple on my scrapbooking desk, or in this case, my coffee table, which is the other place that I like to scrapbook. And then I moved that heart to the title, and it's not even done moving yet. I'm going to move it yet again. Now I'm back to using that cut apart sheet. I thought that the bottom right hand corner needed a little something, so I cut out these sentiments. They spell out "Deck the halls with boughs of holly," and I left a little border of the red all around the outside, which looks similar to the title at the top. And then I'm going to ink the edges of all those pieces, and I'm going to pop them up on some foam before attaching them down. I really don't like to have hard and fast rules with scrapbooking, but there are some things that I consider doing even if I don't do them on every layout. And one of them is trying to have some consistency with the color that I mat things on my layouts. So for this layout, you can see that I have my photo, it's matted in red, then I have the title, it's matted in red, and then I have these little sentiments also matted in red. And like I said, it doesn't have to be that way on every layout. But since I like to have really busy layouts, I think that having some things like that where there's a consistency in color can kind of make the layout a little bit easier to read. So I'm just pointing that out. Like I said, don't believe in having lots and lots of rules for scrapbooking. So I trimmed that little flower off of the side of the paper, but I just had to use it. It's super pretty. So I decided to put it on top of that little title cluster at the top. And now I'm using some glossy accents, and I'm covering a number of elements on the page with it. So I used it on the little chipboard sentiment near the photo. I used it on the heart at the top of the page, and I also use it on that frame. And you have to make sure that you give that quite a while to dry. I always have to take my layout and put it like somewhere that I normally wouldn't put it, just to remind myself that I shouldn't touch it. Otherwise, I'll end up sticking my finger in it or something. So it definitely needs a little bit of time to dry. I was also thinking that it might look nice to add a little bit of stamping behind the clusters. Now, of course, this is not the ideal time in making a layout to start stamping just because everything is already in place. However, it isn't so terrible because I know exactly where I want the stamping. Whereas when you put the stamping beforehand, you might sometimes have to go back and add more, but now I know exactly where I want it to be, even though it's a little inconvenient to have to move everything to the side. And this stamp, I believe it's from a previous My Creative Scrapbook kit. It's a little font stamp, and I think that it goes just perfect with this background. There's a little bit of stamping on the background already, but the stamping around my clusters will be a little bit darker. And I'm using Vintage Photo Archival Ink. And I remember I used to always be afraid to stamp like this in case I made a mistake. But what I found over the years is even if there's a mistake, it usually doesn't look too terrible. And I can always, if it's really bad, use some gesso on it or cover it up with an embellishment. So I definitely think it's worth just taking the chance and trying it out. And if you make a mistake, scrapbookers always find a way to fix things like that. So in addition to the type stamp, I'm now using a dot stamp. I believe this is a Tim Holtz stamp. There's lots of dot stamps out there now, though. I find them really handy. And I have a couple of different ones depending on how big I want the dots to be and how close together I want them. But this is one that I use quite a bit. So now I'm going to add some splatters to the layout. So I started off with some gold splatters. This is a Shimmerz Paints color. It's called Color Splash Back in the Saddle. And I thought that this color gold went really well with the touches of gold that are already on the layout. So I just covered up my photo to add a few splashes of this to the background. I put it all over the areas where I have all 3 clusters. Now I'm using Finnabair heavy gesso, and I'm adding some highlights to the flowers. And I've learned in the past that with red flowers, I want to go very light-handed on the highlights because sometimes I can overdo it a little bit, and red flowers don't look great with a ton of highlights. So I'm trying to just add a few and just touch the brush very lightly to the edges of the petals and the centers, but not get too much in the centers of the petals. I just think it looks better like that. And I'm just really lightly dabbing or touching the brush to the flowers. I'm not pressing very hard. That way the brush will just touch the highest areas on the flowers and just give them a little bit of a highlight rather than actually painting on the gesso. I also wanted to add some white splatter. So once again, I covered up my photo and I'm adding some watered down white acrylic paint once again to all 3 of the clusters. So I keep my white acrylic paint in this spray bottle. And when I want to make tiny splatters, I will tap my scissors against the top plastic part that holds the straw, and that will make tiny splatters. If I want larger splatters, I will take my finger and hit in the same place on the plastic part, and that will create larger splatters. And it's important with the acrylic paint to give it a little bit of time to dry before continuing to work on the layout. The gesso dries really quickly, but not so much the acrylic paint. It doesn't take a super long time, but long enough that you have to take a little break from working on your layout and make sure that it's dry before continuing. So now it's time to add some additional little touches to the layout. I'm adding these self-adhesive pearls, which I really love. I put a lot of them on the frame, but then I also put some on some of the other embellishments like the heart at the top and the sentiment to the left of the photo. So to add a little bit of sparkle to the flowers, I'm adding some opal glitter medium. That's from Hobby Lobby. It just gives a little bit of shine to the flowers, so I add it not only to the larger flowers, but to those smaller branches as well. So not only is there some shine, but there's also a little bit of glitter in it too. And this stuff dries really quickly, much quicker than the glossy accents, but it gives a different look. I like the look of the glossy accents. I also like this look. It just depends what you're putting it on. I had some really, really tiny gold pearls that were similar to the other ones, so I added a couple of those to the ornaments that are at the bottom of the page. And then I wanted to add some gold to the center of this flower because the other centers are gold. So I used some Alchemy metallique in ancient coin, and now I'm using more of those little tiny gold pearls and I'm adding those to the frame. I thought that it would look nice to have just a couple more really small ones added to the large and the medium ones I already have on the frame, and luckily they were the same color, so they matched and everything went together. Excuse my head in this part of the video. Whenever I put pearls on the page, I always have to get my head right on top just to make sure I'm putting them in the right spot. And with this size embellishment, I need some help. Here I'm using tweezers. Sometimes I use scissors, but I'm not going to try to put these in place with my fingers. It'll take so much longer and they'll probably stick to my fingers. And I'm not sure exactly where I got those really small gold pearls from. I'm guessing Want to Scrap. They make some very tiny embellishments, but those small ones I find come in super handy. And then I added a little tiny bit of the white gesso to the center of the flower to give it a few highlights. And then I added a couple of other spots of gesso in a few places, and now the layout is complete. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed watching. I really enjoyed looking back at a video that I made a long time ago and looking at my process and seeing how I approach this kit. I'm going to start off by voicing over all of the December 2024 videos that I haven't posted yet, so those will be up on my channel very shortly. Thank you again so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.